All right, all right, all right. All right, so I gotta get to work now. I don't have a lot of time to mess around. Let me just pop this in here so people know I'm live. Okay. And let me just pop these on my other ones here. Okay. All right, last one, and then we can go ahead and get pushing. Okay, that's good. All righty, let's get to work. Got a lot of stuff to do. So this is a She-Hulk. Got two of these guys to work on. I have one that is the superhero version of it, and then I want to do Lawyer Hulk as or Lawyer She-Hulk as well. Okay. All righty. Let's okay. So we're gonna do okay. Okay. So I need to put the framing around it because I don't know. Okay. Okay. So now I got my border, so I'm in good shape. I love it. She looks great. Let's get to work. Let's make her look great. Find the right pen. So I'm looking for 005. Okay. Okay. Yeah, she's gonna look really good. And then as soon as I get the Transformers one going after that, these two, it's game on. But I got a couple hours worth of work to do here. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to have to lock in to get it all done, but I'm not going to like compromise and not get stuff done. Right. My wife is the best cheerleader ever. Okay. But yeah, it's a little quiet so far, but it's okay. Okay. Yeah, so She-Hulk is like just muscle. She's like pure muscle. So I just need to make sure that she looks like. Okay. All right, so we're trying to just wrap up all these little tight little spots here for her. Okay. That's the two. I need to go to. Berserk. Thank you very much for giving me the little nod there. Okay. Okay. All right. So I think we're in good shape. That's a good looking She-Hulk. Yeah, she's looking dope. Okay. I like it. All right. So I got that ready to rock and roll. All right. Let's get some color on this bad boy. Okay. So we're going to get our skin first. Okay. 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 All right. So that's it. That's the start. We're going to do is tint that. So hopefully I might be able to do a warm. I'm going to try it and see what it does. Okay, we're looking right. Wow, very quiet today. It's a Friday. Whatever. Yeah, I'm figuring that we're gonna get some people up on here a little bit later on. Hey, Christina, how you doing today? Hey, Karen Closet, how are you? Man, today's gonna be a good day. It's a Friday. Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna definitely get some folks coming in a little bit later on. Right now, we're gonna work on She-Hulk, getting her looking beautiful, elegant. I guess is the best way to do it. So that's my focus for today. Gotta make her look right. It's very easy to screw up a character. And I'm not willing to do that. I want her to look dope. Build these shadows up. All right, gotta get a dark color for the lips. Dark green for the lips. I have one in here. Gotta find it. So, worst case scenario, I'll just drop a darker green there, and then I can just throw some lighter green on top. Because the cool part about Prismacolors is that they mix. That's a blessing in disguise. Perfect. And I'm gonna give her a little black. So, Hey, collectible. How you doing? Mhm. Get that greenish tint to her hair. But now we got to fix her leg. So her leg is exposed, and I need to make sure the color all matches. Done deal. Okay. All right. So that looks good. She looks really, really good. So now I can come in here and I can just punch up the black lines. I might put a little shadow in the white part of her outfit to make that pop out a little bit more. That's weird. All right. All right. She looks really good. Guess I want to talk to myself. I think that'll be fun. So, so I just saw that show Startup. Just wrapped that up yesterday. Interesting show. I have to admit to that. It is very, very different from other shows that I've seen. And the fact that, oops, let me get a picture of this real fast. In the fact that basically shows how corruption can just weed its ways through anyone. So the show goes between these three people, Nick, Ronnie, and Isabella. So Isabella is a like a computer phenom. She's a coding phenom, and she's able to do things that most people could only dream of, right? So for years and years and years, she's been, she dropped out of school, she left the love interest, and she focused strictly on creating this algorithm so that she can make a new form of currency. Really, really, cool idea. And, just the thought of, if this was person was trying to create Bitcoin, this is how they would do it, right? Well, she wanted to go ahead and replace Bitcoin with this Gen coin. So everything has a value. There's no like set value on everything. Like if you have if you have a tennis ball and I want that tennis ball, we negotiate, we figure out what that dollar amount is, and then we go ahead and trade it, and that's what the value is of that tennis ball. And you do it strictly online, but still under the basis of digital currency. Um, Really just interesting concept. And you realize, okay, well, I'm a developer, I'm an independent developer, and I gotta get this I got to get people to buy in. That is the hardest thing because it's something new, it's something that's going to disrupt the industry. What do I got to do? Well, she ends up creating the currency, creating the program, and then she has to pitch it, and unfortunately nobody believes in her, and that creates a little bit of a problem for her because she really wants people to believe in her. The product's good, but the belief system behind it, and because of her reputation, it's one of those things where your reputation precedes her, and she ends up not doing very well. However, there is one person that she runs into. This guy's named Nick, and he has funds that he can use to help her out. Unfortunately, those funds are tied up with people that they should not be, right? He's gotten illegal funds from someone, and that just basically starts the journey. And those funds lead to this third person named Ronnie. And Ronnie is a gangster. So you can kind of see where this is going. So you have a lot of corruption all the way around. Um, she doesn't want to, she wants her stuff to be legit, but she's willing to do whatever she can do to get to that goal. And unfortunately, when you're really wanting to do something badly, you kind of ignore the warning signs of what is right and wrong. She went through a period where she would sleep with somebody just so she could have a place to stay, not because she loved the person, not because she cared about the person. She just wanted to have a place to stay, a place to have her hardware, and unfortunately, it cost her. Okay. Yeah, it's just a fun series. I mean, it has a lot of twists and turns. It's got a lot of action. Got a lot of seduction in it. It's got a lot of backhanded BS that happens in it too. So I would definitely tell you the show is not disappointing. It was actually really good. I was very happy with the end result. It ended on a cliffhanger. I would say the only bad part about it is that it was on a network where they got bought out. That's what I found out, and that you know made them kind of have to choose. Okay, well, we have to figure out what we're going to do here. Are we going to keep the show? We're going to let the show go. And this being the new owner, and the new owner was like, "Nope, it's got to go." Because producing shows is expensive, man. Let's be honest. You got to pay for people to be there. You have to pay the crew. You have to pay for locations. It's not cheap. I didn't realize how much really went involved or was involved in producing a show until I really did some deep diving. The actors and actresses are just the beginning of it. Only one part. We're not even we haven't gotten to the food. We haven't gotten into the people that actually have to do location scouting. We haven't gotten to, logistics of finding out if you need vehicles and securing permits and all that stuff. There's a whole lot that goes into it. That being said, moving on to something else. I don't understand why it takes so long for other shows to get produced. That part I got to do some digging into. And when I say other shows, I'm talking about like, why does it take so long for HBO to shoot a show or um, Netflix to shoot a show? What the hell is the holdup? Why do you guys take so long? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Those kids, like for Stranger Things, they weren't like the top of the tops. Even Millie Bobby Brown, even though she was working, she was busy. She wasn't so busy that they couldn't have locked her down prior and been like, "Hey, look, this is what our schedule's looking like. We're gonna need you so we can wrap this thing up." But that's the logistics of trying to figure out all, you know, of what's needed to create a show. Oh man, I forgot she's got glasses in here. Gotta give her the glasses. It's good. All my people are doing their work. That is perfect. Yeah, I'm a teacher by day, professor by day, I should say. Earned that one. I had to work hard for that. Professor by day and artist other parts of the day. Wonder if I like that enough in order to keep that. I don't know. I'm kind of like iffy about that one. I don't know. Take a look. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna find something I can work with. Got to think of like a pose that I can use for a lawyer. It's got to be powerful. Okay, let me take a look at my reference for the lawyer is going to look like. All right. You know what? I think I'm going to keep what I got. And then I'm going to. Oh, she's got bigger glasses than that. But that's okay. I'm not going to deal with that. That's fine. So let's give her a blouse that cuts low. Right? And we'll give her this one blouse. So it still shows a split. And have that go over here. Button. Give her a little bit of that. Give her some pockets. She's gonna have, I think I'm gonna have her hair just. I want it to go down this way, like she has that little piece of hair that comes down, and then we're going to bring her hair up like so. Hey Jayla, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Okay, and we'll curl it up like that. That'll be perfect. I think that works really, really well. Yeah, so this client actually asked for two different she hulks, one in one style and one in another style, which I'm dope with, which I'm cool with because that kind of gives a little bit of variety. I gotta give her pupils this time. I definitely gotta go back to the other one and pop in those pupils because I forgot to do that. Make her glasses just a hair bigger. Goes there. Put the bridge on the nose. And I know I'm going over this pretty thick with the pencil, but that's okay. Give her a little bit thicker lips. That's one of those rare times. I mean, it's rare that I actually, in the last little bit since I switched over to the daytime, that I don't have any people on. It's really odd, but you know, the times are a little different. Not gonna gripe about it though. You know, you get some at certain times and you get some at other times. Not everybody's always available. And since this gentleman picked this, I'm gonna give her a pearl necklace. I'm not gonna do all pearls all the way around. I do want to give it some character though. So we got one central pearl, and then we're going to have her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll go to 8 pearls, and then we'll have a chain that links them. That's the better way to go. Yes, you can tell she's got a different look altogether, even though it's the same character. She's got a different look. I made this lip a little thicker now, but it is going to stretch though because she is smiling, so that does make sense. I was just listening to a podcast the other day, and one of the guys, specifically John Campea, he was talking about this show, and I don't get a chance to really um, follow up on my pop culture news, but he's one of the pundits that I follow that that I look into certain stories and whatnot, and he brought up the topic about the lead not wanting to play or might not play Hulk again or She-Hulk. And the question is that a problem for one? And two, if it is, should they recast? And I was like, um, absolutely, absolutely. And the reason that I say that, not because I think she was bad in the role, because she was absolutely hilarious in that show. However, if she does not want to be tied to that project anymore, that is her prerogative. And if that be the case, then they do need to recast it because it's still a good character. I mean, I had this discussion the other day because we were talking about like, what about the recast that they did for Hulk? And I said that makes sense. You're not going to get rid of Hulk just because, Edward Norton doesn't agree with Marvel. That's perfectly fine. People are going to have a difference of opinion. Cool. But why are you going to destroy property just because of an actor? That basically says that I'm going to stop a project and I'm going to stop hundreds of other people having an opportunity to work because of one person. That doesn't make any sense. So, what do? You recast. Oh, but the question would be brought up. Okay. So if that's the case, what about like the scenario that happened with Chadwick Boseman? Should they have recast for his character? I would say 100% yes. Before I was like, maybe not, because Chadwick Boseman is Black Panther. But after really analyzing it and really looking at a truly played out situation, and I should have looked at this from when they did the Hulk. Um, when they decided to put Shuri's character in as Black Panther, one thing you have to keep in mind is when you do a comic book, it's different than putting things in real life. Shuri's character is not a leader in the MCU. She played kind of a leader figure when she was in the comics, but in the MCU, the gravitas that she has is not there. Her claim, her wow factor is that she's the brains in the series, right? And that being the case, she lacked that power. When Chadwick came in, he was not only the king of Wakanda, he was also the Black Panther, but he was also T'Challa. So he had all three of those entities in one person. And when he came in, he knew it. So there's only a certain a very small handful of people that they could have done that could have been a replacement for him. And Shuri was not the one that they should have picked. And that's fine. I mean, that was a call by Marvel as a whole. That was a call by Ryan Coogler and all the creatives that for that movie. However, in my opinion, and my opinion doesn't mean, you know, much at all because I'm a fan. Um, I firmly believe that they should have picked like um T'Challa's girlfriend. She would have been perfect because she has that warrior spirit. She has the connection with the people. She's a fighter. That would have been perfect. You could have even picked um the leader of the women fighters. That she would have been good too. But the true person would have the true idea that would have made the most sense was to recast. And you need to have somebody that had that presence like Chadwick Boseman. And that's a hard one to pull because he definitely brought something different to the table when he was that character. I have heard rumor that the other um the other actor from Brad Pitt, the one that played George Pierce, um, he has been brought up multiple times. I don't know if Marvel's talked to him or not, but he would be a good replacement. And being the fact that we're going to see a Black Panther 3, I'm not going to be surprised if we see him. He definitely would make a good character or definitely a good Black Panther. I mean, I would definitely say, had Michael B. Jordan not been Um, Killmonger, he would have made a very good Black Panther. But again, he definitely had a presence. Like when you saw him in Black Panther, the first movie, it's like, wow. Even though I don't like, I'm not supposed to like this guy. I really do like this guy. He made a good bad guy. And it had been a while since we've seen a good bad guy in the Marvel series. Like Loki was the last good bad guy because Marvel was known for not having great villains, not memorable ones. I mean, you'll remember, the movie itself, but let's be honest, who is the villain of every movie? Were they memorable? Like Loki transcends that. Killmonger does as well because he was just a dope character. Thanos, of course, is the beast that we know. So it's gonna be a lot that we're gonna see here in the next little bit. You'll notice on this channel I talk a lot of comics. Like I love comics. Um, I also love like TV shows too. I mean the latest news that just popped out today, and I heard it. I saw it on my local news feed, and then I started seeing it on national news, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to see it again later today. So Netflix is in exclusive negotiations with Warner Brothers. Now I put in the post when I saw it this morning, I'm like, is this official? Because the whole thing read that Netflix won the bidding war. Let's make it very clear. This is not even close to over yet. There are so many hoops that need to be conquered. Um, this is a huge acquisition. This is probably, well, not probably. This is bigger than the Fox Marvel deal. That deal was huge, and when it happened, we knew we were going to get something special. And I say that we're going to get something special is because all those properties open up the doors for so many things to happen. So many. You have, properties like the Matrix now that have or that could have a new home because the money is there to create something very, very special. Gotta get off this pen. I think I'm on 05. Yeah. So you have something very special there. Netflix has very deep pockets. Um, and I look at it like this from a Netflix point of view. Netflix is only trying to build value into what they have. You can't charge people money for something if you do not provide them value. They're less likely to stay with you. And one thing Netflix is really starting to get a grasp on is that they noticed that things are trending differently. Okay. The streaming game used to be huge because everybody was trying to get into it. I mean, you had HBO. HBO had at one point four different streaming services. You had Disney Plus that was getting into it. You had um, who else? Peacock that was into it, and all these other streaming apps, right? But because Netflix was so far ahead of everybody else, they'd been out so long, they'd already had their setup. Now Netflix is their primary setup is they do a lot of licensing to other people's products. right? So you'll see a lot of foreign products and stuff like that in their catalog. You'll see a lot of HBO things from their catalog, right? Because people like variety. Think about it. When we watch TV, we have a bunch of shows that we can watch, but you know, when we look at our streaming services, we have a lot of streaming services because stuff is on different streaming platforms. However, because Netflix has a big catalog, people get introduced to things that they typically would not see. And I'm not just talking about anime and I'm not talking about documentaries. We're talking about foreign films. We're talking about exclusive documentaries. We're talking about movies that you haven't seen in 20 years, that kind of stuff. So the catalog is very deep. Um, and they follow trends and they know. However, one thing Netflix hasn't really pushed is that they don't take their movies and push them into theaters. That's one avenue that they have not done yet. And they can't do it because they don't really have properties that, people know. They don't have that. However, having things like Knives Out, and then next year they're going to have The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe coming out. These are properties that people know. And if they acquire Warner Brothers, now they have a humongous catalog of properties that people know. Matrix, Jurassic Park. They will have Mortal Kombat. They'll have a bunch of, Looney Tunes shows. They would have Harry Potter. All of that stuff would be assimilated into their stuff. So not only are they making money off of those pieces, but now if they wanted to produce something, they already have the built-in connection and they're just taking the wins from that. So now when they put something into a theater, they know for a fact that when they put it in there, they're going to get their return. Netflix is a smart animal. They've been smart for a long time. I mean, I when Netflix first came out, I was working for Best Buy. And I remember seeing Netflix cards and people ordering Netflix movies, and I was like, "This is stupid. Why are you guys ordering shit? And you could just go to the Blockbuster." Well, that was the thing. What people hated about Blockbuster or any other movie company is that number one, you'd go there, you might find the movie, but you had to get watch the movie in a small period of time, unless you paid exorbitant prices to rent it much longer. Or you kept it longer and you ended up, getting late fees, and late fees got obnoxiously high. So with Netflix, you just order the movie. I think you had like 2 weeks, something like that, to really watch it. If you wanted to get a series, because this is really when series were starting to get on uh, to a platform where you could actually watch them and rent them, then they set a standard. Nobody can do that stuff. And trust me, when they were doing it beforehand, people were like, "Man, this is going to be insane. You guys are going to um, get movies. You're going to ship them out. Your shipping is going to kill you." Yeah, the shipping was kind of obnoxious, but they figured out a way to, balance things out and they stayed afloat. And because of them, we lost Blockbuster. We lost Hollywood Video. We lost all of these, box stores. So they literally took out a market. People don't realize that, but that's what really happened. Netflix is about to go ahead and do something that is going to blow people's minds. If this deal goes through, it will be the biggest acquisition of a company, I would probably say ever. People look at that Fox deal and be like, that was good. This is better. And it literally is way better than that one. Fox has got a lot of great properties. X-Men being like their tops of their property. But you in there, you have now um, Disney has been able to capitalize on their investment. They have really put the power behind creatives, which I firmly believe Netflix is in the same line to do. Now, Fox was bought, I say like 8 years ago, somewhere in that area. So they bought that, right? And they empowered creatives to push new product. Okay. They had I would, for what I would say is a dead franchise in Aliens, a dead franchise in Predator, because it had been run into the dirt and it was just so diluted and so just bad. I personally love Predator. Like, I think the Predator movies were fun up until I saw Predators. I thought it was great, and then it just started they started making goofy versions of itself. They made one where the last movie before this, before Prey, they made a robot version of the Predator. It was goofy. They had a basically like a Titan version of a Predator. It was just goofy. It lost a lot of its power. They came out with Predator versus Alien, good movie. Then they came out with Predator versus Alien Requiem, horrible movie. It was a shell of itself. It should have been better, right? And these are the things that just don't make any sense. So they ended up finding a creative that was like, look, I have a vision for where Predator should go. I have a vision where we should take aliens. And what we're doing is we need to maximize these properties. We know that they're good properties, but we need to pump some new energy in it and we need to really rethink how we do it. So, with that in mind, in 2020, we got Prey. And Prey is not set in a traditional alien world, it's set on Earth, it's set in the period of the Indians. And the Indians are being hunted by this predator. And you have a young Indian princess that has to go against this predator. Way different. A woman has never gone against the predator, other than other than the one from Predator versus Alien, but never gone one on one against the predator. And they gave us a very powerful person. So we didn't really just see the character as a woman. We saw her as a powerful individual. She was strong and she was trying to defend her people. It was literally like watching a female Arnold Schwarzenegger. She was that good as a character. She was very believable. So I was just very impressed by that. And then we got an announcement that they were making this Alien movie. And again, I was not very excited to watch an Alien movie. And this one was, hey, Noah, this one was just like weird, right? So we had a synth, and this was set up right after the period of what was it, the first Alien movie. So it had that weird, scary vibe to it that the original Alien had, and it was just really well done. We really got to experience like the synthetics in this movie, and the synthetic really, you really cared about him. They made him an actual vital part. So something very similar to what they did with Bishop, but this one actually had a lot more character to him. Like you built it, you were able to see a connection between her and her synth brother, right? It was just very, very well done. And then after that, we got the animated Killer of Killers, which that was just insane. I was not expecting it to be a an anthology that culminated with a very unique um, a very unique mythology, and also process to help us understand what these characters were doing. Like we got to see them actually, recruit specific people for a ultimate battle. So it was either going to be a battle between the predators themselves, or it was going to be the predators versus the humans. And it got to be really fun, and it's a movie that I would definitely tell anybody to watch, because you get to see a variety of different characters in there, from a samurai to a fighter pilot to a Viking. All of them are very, very well set up characters, and it's just the visuals on it are so good. Um, and then lastly, we just got this new Predator Borderlands, and it just it sets the stage for something better, bigger, and better to come down the road. We are going to see something really, really good coming down the pipe. I use different purple. No, I'll use this one. All right, so we got this one almost done. But going back to what I was saying, this acquisition by Netflix, like this push to get this done, because Netflix made a cash offer, which is huge. We're not talking credits you're going to get on the back end. This is a, here's my money, take it, and you can go home, have fun, retire. We're coming in here to do work. Some things that I don't want to see in this acquisition. I don't really think I want to see the Snyderverse come back. And I think a lot of people will think that's bad, but I don't think I really want to see the Snyderverse come back. And this is why. The Snyderverse was fun for a time, and it was a good experiment. It was a good test. But let's be realistic. It came, it went, it failed. Okay. It came, it went, it failed. And why are you going to spend your money to rebuild something that did not work? Okay. I will say there were certain properties in there that did make sense. There are certain properties that are worth revisiting. I would definitely say if you could get Ben Affleck to pull off his Batman, I would say go for it. That was a great piece. Aquaman, no, no, and I don't have anything wrong with James Wan. I just think that the second movie was horrible. I don't think it was done very well. I think it was very much rushed. It should have just been a Aquaman one, and let's leave it at that until we get a good story. We don't need to rush this. It didn't have the same kind of pop like the first one. There's a better story in that first one. Um, I would say if you're going to do a Justice League, go and do that Justice League that people really have been waiting to see, the second part to the Justice League Snyder cut. Do that. But bringing it back as a whole, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's a bad move. It's a bad investment, especially after the fact that you just went ahead and had a Superman come out, and it's the first part of your whole line, including Creature Commandos, that people are trying, or that Warner Brothers was trying to produce. I think it's a very stupid idea. Why would you want to go backwards? You're trying to produce things and make them, come to life. Why are you going backwards? And I think that's where people really are, not really thinking. And I say fans when I'm talking people. Why do you want to go backwards? Because you missed the characters that, failed? They didn't fail because of anybody else than the fans not showing up for the movies. And let's be honest, the people that wanted to see the movies saw it. So us as the general comic book nerdy people, we showed up for that stuff. But that's not what's going to win it over. So the people that you got to win over are people like my wife, like my fellow staff, right? That are not in that comic booky nerd, arena. You have to be able to connect with them because they're the other 70% that are not involved. How do you get the money out of their pockets? That's where the problem is. That's why I say it doesn't work. That's why I say it's going backwards. It didn't work the first time. So you're going to go to the well again with new blood and hope that it's going to work. Netflix would not make money that way. I know Netflix does take a lot of leaps. Like they did it with the Russos with both of their movies that they did. Red One and or not Red One, with The Gray Man and with Electric City. Those were very big endeavors. Neither one of them ended up in I'm sorry, only one of them ended up in the movie theaters. And that's The Gray Man. And you're going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars investing that to get very little return. No, you're not going to do that. Build off of the new vision that's been cultivated by James Gunn and his crew. That's what needs to be done. I firmly believe that James Gunn has got a great move in his pocket. Like I see where he's going. But that's only going to work if people will back him up. I think that Netflix could definitely help steer the ship a little bit. I think people like Zaslab need to be in place because you know James Gunn does need to be reeled in on his responsibilities. I think he is spreading himself way too thin to do his job. And I think, having the right people in place to be like, hey, Gunn, I know you love this project. I know you had the script written for this project, and I know you're going to have, more of these guys in your wheelhouse. But yes, starting us off with a great Superman was the way to go. Hey, Margaret, welcome to the stream. I think starting us off with a strong Superman, you did your job. Now let other people do theirs. Let them do theirs. And he doesn't have the ability right now to, um, or desire really to let go of those reins, and that sucks. It really sucks. So, Margaret, I'm working on a card series right now. This is actually one of the cards that got snagged for this, what I call the Road to 1000. The Road to 1000 is basically 1,000 cards, 10 different categories, spanning from comics to, how you doing, Jess? Um, Spanning from comics to anime, Pokemon, Transformers, wrestlers, all that fun stuff. So today I'm gonna wrap up this She-Hulk, get her done, get her out. Then I have a Transformers piece I need to do after this, and then I'm going to go back to working on my books. Yeah, 1,000 cards. Yes, I absolutely did say that. I mean, I'll tell you the whole story. So back in 2020, when COVID was going on, I had a local comic book store that was trying to get some business in because, as you know, we were kind of quarantined. We couldn't go places. So to kind of drive business, they decided to really push online sales. So they would do a lot of Facebook Lives, and that's how they would sell a lot of their products and getting things out. So as an incentive for their customers, if they spent 25 bucks, they got a free sketch from somebody. And that store had a lot of local artists that wanted to contribute. So I was like, you know what? I want to be a part of this because, a lot of my friends that I knew were doing it. And I was like, I'd love to do this kind of stuff. I need some challenges. I want to draw some stuff. So I reached out to the owner and said, hey, look, I know that you got people doing this stuff. I'm not asking for anything. I just want to help out your store because you've done so good by me. What are you guys looking for? What kind of characters? So he gave me a list, and I was like, okay, well, I got my little list. Started out with like 25 characters, and literally daily, I was doing like 5 or 6 characters. So he gave those out, and after everything was said and done, and we're talking like a few months, I had done like 750 cards, and the cards were way bigger than this. They weren't sketch cards. These were 4x6 cards. So that is how that happened. Yeah, it was crazy. So just to kind of help build my audience, I was like, you know what? I need a big challenge, and I like doing big things. Yeah. So this is asking a lot less. You have to do more detail. With more detail, I had to. I shouldn't say more detail. I just had you had to be a little more intricate with your work because it's smaller. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do 1,000 of these. I think 1,000's good. And I think 100 per category, 20 cards per week. I think that's a really good and admirable goal. I think whoever gets stuff from this set is going to be very happy. Yeah, I definitely I like going big. And one thing I've decided to do is this is going to be a year-long project, and I think in not think I know in a year I could really I could really pull this off. I get to do so much, and I think after speaking to a lot of people, especially over the last couple days, I think I've come to a decision where I'm just going to post the list of all of the characters because there are a lot of things that people want to see. And I think if I post the list for each category, people can just pre-order them, and it'll just give me a chance to kind of move from area to area. And if they don't pick, then I'm just going to keep on going down the list. I mean, I've done people so far like Cable. Some people actually picked out like Jack Sparrow and Lightning McQueen, and who else did I get? Um, Yesterday I had Sabretooth that I worked on, and Wolverine, and a few others. I mean, it's just the amount of people that I've had a chance to work on so far has just been really cool. All right, so enough of me talking on here. What do you do? Do you do some sales stuff on here? Do you do a specific kind of thing on whatnot, or do you just collect things? Oh, okay, cool. What anything in particular? Dark over there here. I have a dark green. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, this whole set is all marble. This series I'm working on of 100 is all marble based. So if there's anything that you see you like, or if there's something that you want to, you want to have done, just let me know. Yeah, so this is actually a set. So the guy's getting two She-Hulks. He gets the business one, or the lawyer, I should say, and then he gets the regular bulked out version of her. So I take it your son and your husband are probably pretty happy with what's about to go down in a couple weeks with this whole doomsday thing. A little later with her skin. Let's go. And then we'll put the green around the outside Whaler. Light halo of green to contrast that purple. There'll be a contrast on the one I did earlier. So you all set for Christmas? You got all your shopping done? Hey, Collector Pros, welcome to the stream. Yeah, this one's been a rough one for a lot of people. It's been a weird year. It's been a while since I've seen things as rocky as this year has been. Are you in the world where the kids like want a bunch of electronics, or are they into that phase where they want like shoes and all that stuff? Oh, that's a good set. I like that. It's my three. Where's my one go? I can do it with two. I can do it with a three as well. Oh boy, that's fun times. That is those are some good ages. Yeah, we got to a point where we were like, you guys are gonna end up having to, we'll just give you a few bucks and you guys can pick out what you want. Yeah, sometimes our kids get a little expensive. Oh, that is awesome. How long is your child going for to Japan for? Ooh, I'm gonna have to go get my charging cable. Excuse me. Wow, that's pretty awesome. I mean, life definitely doesn't suck for him or her. Well, I mean, the the fact that your son's going to get a chance to do that, the exposure itself is going to be incredible. I know it. That place is on my bucket list, and I'm supposed to go in 3 years. Definitely looking forward to that one. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's the thing. My kids, once they're out, that's when I'm going to be able to do it as well. So I completely understand. Sorry, I definitely going to be going back to doing work. I just have to send this message off because if I don't, I will forget. So, what's your child studying in college? Yeah, computer science can definitely be a great degree. I'm gonna be honest with you. Computer science is really a smart move, extremely smart move for him, especially if he goes like into forensics. That would be a good move for him. If he goes into criminal, what like he's going through computer science, like that kind of, yeah, cybersecurity. Yes, I mean especially now. I mean it that alone is that's a huge piece. Think about this. Like a lot of our people that are out there now need protection of some sort, because the computer industry right now is in a, I wouldn't even say a flux, I would just say it's in a spot where it's about to explode. AI is going to change the way that people do things on a daily basis. It's already happening, I should say. And him being in that arena and really trying to, if he sinks his teeth in now, he'll really do well because he'll be ahead of the game. But he really needs to just dig in deep. I mean, we don't even think about it, but the things that we get to use on a daily basis, our cell phones, how vulnerable we are, his knowledge of that is going to be huge, especially if he uses it for the right thing. Because computer technology is going to change, or it has changed the way people, do things on a daily basis. Yeah, I used to work for Dell for many years, and watching how that company made its shift was insane. Watching how companies like Best Buy and Walmart and all that stuff, how they've changed technology was, seeing how everything is pretty much on a system of some sort. Since you work for a cloud system company, think about this. Like you remember about a month ago when AOL, or not AOL, but Amazon's cloud system died or it had like some kind of failure. You see how big of a problem that is? I mean, yeah, I mean that whole thing in reference to seeing them just like you were at one thing working and then all of a sudden you wake up in the morning, it makes national news where you don't even realize how far like these cloud systems, how integrated they are. Okay, you take care. Thank you so much. Have a great lunch. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. All right. Get ready to knock out some stuff. What? I'm tired of them bringing back old folks. It's really bad. Just saw a post. I just saw a post that they are going to possibly bring back Chris Jericho. Okay. All right, let's get to work. All right, so we're going to do this punch. Let's get this angle right. This is a piece where it's going to be Optimus Prime fighting um, Megatron. So excited to do this one. Anybody that knows me knows that I enjoy drawing Transformers. My wife, she straight up looked at me. She's like, "You should do Transformers, man. That's just your thing. People love your Transformers." So that's one of the reasons why, I had to make Transformers part of my collection set. So some of the characters that I get to draw for Transformers, I'm going to draw Soundwave. I have a Soundwave that I was supposed to draw for another client. Okay. I'm only drawing him once and I'm going to draw him again. I have another comic book that I have waiting for somebody to pick up. I just can't find the person's contact information. And I got to get that out. Um, so there's a lot of stuff that I gotta um take a look at. And I really have a lot of characters that are going to be part of this series. It's going to be a really dope series to see for the Transformers. So if you are a big Transformers fan, just wait. It's not going to be just your run of the mill characters. I mean, I'm going to have people from the movie. So we're going to get to see um the Sharkticons. Hey Jess, what's up? Welcome back. We're gonna have the Sharkticons. We're going to have the Quintessons. Where we will actually, I'm doing a Unicron, but the Unicron that I'm going to do is actually going to be 9 of these cards together. So not only do you get 9 cards that make Unicron, but you're also going to get 9 different, at least, 8 or so different Transformers in there because there's going to have to be a Transformer going against him. So they're going to be things in perspective, like seriously big perspective. Um, any of you that might be old enough to remember the X-Men card set that Jim Lee did years ago, it's that. It's just like that. It's literally going to be something like that because I've wanted to do one of those for a long. long time. So he's got to have his. Sorry, I gotta hold these cards a certain way because I don't have any tape with me. I usually would. Actually, you know what? I do. Why didn't I just tape these before? Got the tape right there. Goofball. Okay. So now I don't have to do this again. I think I might have to curl his hand up like this, like that, because he is a robot and it's not like a normal person's arm. And Megatron's gotta be like getting messed up. So he's gonna be hit like this. So I want to make sure that got that. I think I might turn him a little bit. Yeah, we'll turn him a little bit. You know, there's a whole lot of stuff that's out there now, man. I'm telling you, like Transformer wise, it's about to happen. Cannot wait. This new Transformers rival series that they're going to turn into a Amazon series. Oh, it's in the vein of like a of an Invincible. It's gonna be insane. People just don't know. They just have no clue. I mean, if you haven't seen Invincible already, then you definitely need to jump on that one like sooner than later. I jumped on that train way late. Thank goodness I have a really good friend of mine slash coworker. He was like, Marcus, you need to check out Invincible. You're gonna love it. He told me about this 7 years ago. And I looked at him and said, is it complete? He's like, yeah, it's done. Like the whole run is done. And I wasn't convinced. I was like, nah, I'm good. But I saw the first season. I got upset at the second season. So last year was when the second season released. At the beginning of the year, I believe it was. And I was very frustrated because I thought the second season was horrible. Because it really was. It was not a good season at all. It lacked a lot of the pop because they set a bar very high on the first one, and you really wanted to see them continue that momentum. However, when season three came out, they were able to reinvigorate that franchise. And I don't know if it's the material because to my memory, the material wasn't bad, but I do think that that was kind of like the lowest point in the series. There are like from this point on, everything else just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds until you get to the very end of the series. So there's no really like lulls in the story. It's really like high octane. We don't really we say we people have no idea what they're about to see. They are in for a treat. People that don't know the story are in for a treat. I feel so happy for people that are going to get to see it because they're going to be very happy. I'm not saying from a violent standpoint. I'm saying just from a general standpoint of it's going to be a really good thing to watch. All right, Megatron, the full body. Because I don't remember what he looks like. Even though I've drawn this guy so many times, I cannot remember all the look of him. I think I'm gonna go look up Jay Lee's version. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Because this one's a really good one. There we go. I have to build the shapes on top of this. Got these words up here, and they're supposed to not be there. It's frustrating. But yeah, we're in a good as a fan, we're in a good spot. I mean, hell, we got Fallout coming out in just over like in a week, a little over a week. We got Fallout season 2 coming out. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. It's really cool. I've never played the game, but I like the series. I have no interest in watching the or playing the game. I bet you it's probably pretty good, but it's not for me. I will watch a show, and if I get the inkling to go into the lore, then I will do that. But right now, not for me. Yeah, I think we as fans are in a good spot. We're in a really really good spot. We just don't even realize how fortunate we are. Look, I would pay more money for a better product. I will say that right now. I will pay more money for a better product. Um, I hate to say it, but TV is not that product anymore. Like traditional TV, it just it lacks that extra oomph that it used to have. It's really fighting an uphill battle right now. You know, streamers are definitely not all streamers, just some, not yeah. Streamers are definitely trying to fight the fight. They really want they really want to come out with some good product. The benefit of having regular TV is that with regular TV, you can watch all sorts of different little things. And you're going to get it on a regular schedule. That's the only drawback to having a streamer. because they're just not as consistent. I don't like that part about streaming. I might have to wait a year and a half before I start seeing something. That's not for me as a consumer. I don't like that. I can deal with you showing me something once a year. Like the fact that, traditional cable decided to go ahead and do a spring and a fall system, that for me is just that's great. I love that. Some people just don't like it. I don't mind it. I think it's really good because I know that in September I'm getting my shows. I can't say that about everything else, and that's frustrating. Again, being a consumer, you really want that consistency. Sorry, I'm looking for something, guys. So hopefully they'll get on their game and fix that problem one day. We'll see it. Where is this reference? I'm looking for a reference of Megatron and Megatron and Optimus. We'll find it. It's gonna take me a second. Where? Oh, where? Hope I didn't take it on my tablet. I don't think I did. I think I did. Did I? It's in here somewhere. Oh, that's interesting. Ooh, Spider-Man Noir. Looking forward to that. This is the person that did it, so now I feel okay. I found what I wanted. Got it. Got it. Got it. Well, that's somebody I should do. I saw Dante. All right. Well, I don't find it here in a second. I'm going to have to just go do it on my own. Thought I was going to find it, but I don't see it. Is that it? No. Still, I know that. No. Okay. I know what I'm going to do, just so I can kind of get this right. All right. Number one, I got to get my stuff back up on. Okay, I'm gonna give myself about 15 minutes. I said I was gonna do this till 1 o'clock. I'm gonna go until 1:15 to finish this up, or at least get it to a spot where I like it. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I don't know if I really like the layout. All right, so we're gonna try this and see what we think. Hey, Pat Clay, how you doing today? Okay. 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 All right, so this is looking much better. So he's looking real good. That's Optimus right there. Okay. Okay. So we're looking good. Okay. All right. So that's that. All right. All right. Okay. So this is looking great. All right. So I got that done. All right. I think we're getting to our threshold, so we're 2 minutes away from time to go ahead and call it for the day. Fortunately, I do have other things that I do need to take care of for the day. So we're gonna probably shut this down here in just 2 minutes, guys. Again, I am so sorry that I gotta shut it down early, but we were able to get a lot of stuff done, so that's a bonus. Okay, so Optimus versus Megatron, and we are good to go. We got the setup done. I'm gonna wrap this up later on today, and then we can go ahead and get this guy shipped out. All right, guys. For all of you that joined me, thank you so much. I will see you on the next show on Tuesday. Take care.